Hare Krishna, I'm Ishvara Krishna Das from Israel. I was born in Israel, grew up in Israel, and joined ISKCON in Israel in 1981. That was quite an experience. I was just finishing my army service, which is compulsory in Israel, and I met the devotees, and it was a special experience, very much so, especially Prasadam. And I became a devotee, and I was serving for probably something like 10 years in Israel, doing the various activities normal for temple life, preaching, Sankirtan, Harinam, book distribution, administration, temple president, went through the whole range of activities. And then I started to think, how should I continue with my life? I was consulting my spiritual master, Vidyānanda Maharaj, and I was trying to look for a service which will allow me to become professional, to realize my professional skills, something for the long term, some goal which I could focus on the long term. And my Guru Maharaj said, why don't you go to university, to academia, and teach Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, make that your life. That will be a good service for ISKCON, and also for yourself, that will give you a goal which you can focus and work for that over the years. And I did that. So I started learning, actually at the age of 33 already, for my undergrad at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. I learned Sanskrit, Indology, philosophy, religion. I continued to study at the University of Tel Aviv. And then I went to Oxford, which was a great experience. And I studied at the theology faculty, University of Oxford, and the Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. I later also studied in Haifa. I also went to Cambridge, and I was a life member there. And yes, I'm still a life member there. And that became my academic career. In having become an academic, I tried to focus on these two great books, the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. As far as the Bhagavad Gita, I've published this book called Exploring the Bhagavad Gita, Philosophy, Structure and Meaning. That book was published by a publisher named Ashgate in the UK, a very good academic publisher. And the book was very well received. The book is an attempt to present the Bhagavad Gita in a philosophical way, or simply as a philosophy. The book has received very good reviews, and it has received a very prestigious award called the Choice Outstanding Award, which is awarded only to a very small percentage of books in the US, about 2.5%. Leaving this aside, you may ask, what is my Mahavakya? What is my statement in this book? And to a large extent, my statement is that the Bhagavad Gita is not only good philosophy, but may gradually, that's my own thoughts, may occupy a central place in the world philosophy because of what it is. So I'm presenting the Bhagavad Gita as a philosophy. Now, how am I doing that? You may ask. One thing which is quite surprising to many people is that I try to revive the idea of Varna, of the four Varnas, in a modernistic way. Most people consider Varna associated with caste, although it's different. Varna is not caste. But most people consider Varna to be one of the Hindu evils. I mean, one of the Hindu evils, Hinduism, is that religion where people are divided into these castes of Varnas, and that's horrible. And Hinduism has to apologize for that That's something you may hear in various circles. However, I suggest to offer the idea of Varna a modernistic, a fresh interpretation, and try to apply categories which we already have in our social and political terminology to the idea of Varnas. What do I mean? We have the business sector, the private sector, which is the business people, and that I see as a kind of contemporary Vaishyas, merchants. We have the political sector, government, army, gov organizations, and that I see as the contemporary or modernistic equivalent, at least potentially, of the Kshatriyas. Now, what is lacking? The Brahmins, of course. And to my mind, the neo-Brahmins are the teachers, school teachers, university teachers, intellectuals, all those who maintain and transmit culture to the next generations. That also refers to NGOs, to non-profit organizations who act without desire for the fruits of activities, if you may want to apply the Gita terminology. So, and of course, the working class Shudras are also there. So to my mind, we have an attempt of a fresh interpretation of this Varna idea. Now, another idea in the Gita is the idea of avatar, according to which the Supreme descends to earth time and time again, not only once, but in various times. And that idea of avatar, the Supreme descending to earth, is opening the door for multi-religious interfaith, in that one can see that and appreciate the truth in various religions, considering that the founders of the great religions have been sent by the Supreme, or sometimes the Supreme himself descending, and that idea opens the way for multi-religiosity and multiculturalism. Then we have the idea of devotion, which is very central to the Gita, bhakti, and we have, of course, the idea of nishkama karma, or work without desire for its fruits. And in short, and I will not develop it too much here, but in short, all these together have a great potential for further development. I will just conclude with one more statement and say that if we examine the current political and social global situation, we can see the rise of two Asian giants, which are India and China. Of course, the two ancient giants, not only economically or strategically, but also in terms of civilization, of values, of culture. So I think the world is moving to Asia, towards Asia gradually, and Asia is having more and more influence on the world also culturally. So if we take that, and if we take the Bhagavad Gita to be at the core of Indian culture, we can build bridges between the Gita and the East, means with China, the Gita and the West in various ways, and to my mind that can create a situation where the Gita can gradually emerge as a 21st century philosophy, global philosophy. So that's, in a nutshell, the kind of things I'm furthering, the kind of things I'm doing, a taste of my scholarship and my vision. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.